Today I'm going to show you how I make fajitas and a margaritas just in time for Cinco de Mayo. First, we need to start with the marinade. In a blender, add the juice of 6 limes, 6 cloves of garlic, some avocado oil, big pinch of salt, big pinch of pepper, and 1 charred jalapeno pepper. A tablespoon, maybe more, of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper, and 1 tablespoon of ground cumin. Blend to incorporate all the ingredients, and there are your dog. Here I have 3 pounds of outside skirt steak. If your skirt steak is not pre-trimmed, you'll need to remove the membrane and excess fat off the bottom side. Slice your skirt steak with the grain at your desired width. Place your marinating skirt steak in the fridge from 4 to 12 hours. Now we need to cut up some vegetables for the fajitas. Thinly slice 1 jalapeno, 1 red pepper, 1 green pepper, and half of 1 yellow onion. On the pellet grill, we're going to open up the heat shield to allow for direct heat. Flip your skirt steak regularly for even heating. Hold the steak at the internal temperature of 135 to 145. For a margarita, we need 2 ounces of reposado tequila, 1 ounce of dry curacao, 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Add ice to the shaker and shake vigorously. Add ice to our glass and pour the margarita in. When slicing your fajita steak, you need to go against the grain to create the smallest possible fibers. All that is left is to make your fajitas and top with any toppings you like. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, when making chicken wings, the first thing you want to do is separate your wings. These came from Costco, pre-cut, so I'm not going to have to do that today. And the next thing you want to do is, chicken doesn't bring any flavor really. You'll want to use some sort of rub. I'm going to use Texas Sugar by Meat Church here. I'm going to move everything to a wire rack and let them rest for 30 minutes. And now let that sit in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. Set your smoker to 225 degrees. We're going to smoke the wings for 2.5 to 3 hours, flipping the wings every hour or so until they reach an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Okay, for our sauce, it's just 4 ingredients. It is 2 ounces of brown sugar, half a cup of sweet pork rub, half a cup of your favorite bourbon, 3/4 cup of some maple syrup. Okay, we're going to keep this at a light simmer to make sure it doesn't burn until it reduces by about 10 to 15%. Your sauce is finished when it sticks to the back of a spoon. Once the wings have been smoking for about 2 hours and they reach an internal temperature about 165, go ahead and put them in a bowl so we can add some sauce to them. I'm only going to do half here, just so I can do flavor for the kids on the other one. Okay, then get these back on the rack. Also, we're going to put them back out in the smoker to set the sauce. For the other sauce, I'm just using red hot sweet chili. These will go on 250 for about 10 more minutes, and then we're done. There you have it. Super easy. Smoked chicken wings with 3 different sauces. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a local pizza shop around that makes an amazing pizza called the Balzania. Shout out to Hotbox Pizza. This is by far my favorite pizza, and I figured, why not turn it into a sausage? Here I have some cow. I have 6 pounds of chuck roast. Gonna dice it up to make it freezing easier. Gonna put this in the freezer for 30 minutes to make it easier to grind. While the meat's chilling, we're gonna go with some parsley and oregano, white sugar, some salt and pink curing salt, some Italian seasoning, some tomato powder, some high temp mozzarella cheese, and some tomato soup. I forgot the red pepper flakes. Going with our largest die. Once we're chilled off, we're gonna start grinding our meat. Once all the meat is ground up, we're going to add our seasoning mix to the meat and mix it all together. Here I have 2 green bell peppers diced up and 1 16-ounce jar of hot banana peppers, also finely chopped up. I'm just going to mix this together. All right, today we're going to be using some natural hog casings. You can find the link for these in the description below. I will let you come up with your own jokes for getting the casings on here. Here at the end, we want to just tie a simple knot. Continue filling the sausages and twisting them off every 6 inches or so. Once cased, these are going to spend overnight in the fridge. Now that the casings have dried out a little bit, we're just going to slip them apart and smoke them. Alright, we're going to cold smoke these about 140 to 150 degrees for about 2 to 3 hours. Okay, after these have been going about 150 for 3 hours, time to pull them off and shock them. Okay, I'm going to raise the smoker up to 275 and cook one of these off, finish it up, see what it tastes like. Okay, we're probing 165 internal. Let's pull it off. Ooh, cheesy. Got everything in there. Let's give it a shot. That's better than I imagined it would have been. I don't know what I would change. Well, there you have it, folks. Okay, so I've been learning how to use a smoker and use it myself a couple times, so I figured the best way to prove I know what I'm doing, I'm going to have my son here, Kyle, make a rack of ribs. I'm going to do some of the cutting for him, but he's going to do all the smoking and everything. So we're just going to open these up. Get some trim on these. cut off any of these little loose bits. Not too much to cut off. Looks good. All right, Kyle, we need to peel this membrane off. How do we want to do that? See this piece that's separating? Mm-hmm. There's some black gloves up there. You want to put a pair of those on? Go and put a second one on.
Okay.
Alright, just want to take the paper towel and just grab this and pull it straight back, keep it low so it doesn't split into pieces.
Yeah.
So grab that, put your other hand here, one hand here, and pull that back. Should come off in one piece. It's getting back here. Okay, keep going. Sit that over there. And we missed just a little bit. Okay. Now we just need to put a little bit of seasoning on this. Nothing else to cut off really. Do have a broken bone, so I'm going to just cut that off. This entire rib. And this, see how this end's real thin? Mm-hmm. No one's going to want to eat. That's just going to burn. So I'm just going to cut that rib off also. Here we have honey hog barbecue. We're going to use this to season. So what we're going to do is just put some on this side. Make sure you get the ends here. We'll flip it over. We'll do the other side. And then we'll let it sit for a few minutes so it can tack up.
Do I need my gloves back on?
No. Make sure you get here also. And up here. If you hold it a little bit more sideways. Okay, want to flip it over? Not a little bit more sideways and it comes out on its own. Get over here. Okay, in about 15 more minutes, this will be all wet and we'll be ready to put it on. We'll get the fire started while we're waiting. Okay, our rub is set and our pit is up to temperature. We're going to go ahead and use both your hands, pick up those ribs. There you go. And just lay it right on these grates like you have it. Okay, we're going to keep the pit about 275 for a couple hours and we'll bring you back. All right, it's been about 3 hours at 275 throughout the cook. It's time to pull the ribs off. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take this butter, lay it on our foil. And a little bit of our sauce that we've been using to coat the ribs in. All right, I'm going to pull these off. Kyle. 2 hands, grab those. 2 hands. Okay. Put the meat side down on the butter, meat side. So flip them over. Okay. A little bit more of our sauce. Okay. I'm going to fold these in. Put that up. Wrap it tight. I'm going to take it, put it back on the pit. Same way down. Just put it back on there. Same spot. Nope. Same side down. All right. About another hour, we'll check back in. All right. So it's been an hour since we wrapped. Time to pull them off. Kyle, just set those on the table. Okay. We're going to flip these over. All right, so I'm going to put the sauce on, and Kyle here is going to spread the sauce out. We're going to put them back on for about 15 minutes to let the sauce tack up. That looks good. And we're just using off the shelf Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce. All right, we're going to put these back on for about 15 more minutes.
Sorry.
And we'll check back in with you. All right, it's been 15 minutes since we put the barbecue sauce on. We're going to pull it off. Kyle, grab here, grab here. Put it down. All right. Oh, that looks good. So I'm going to put some gloves on real fast. Grab this off there. I'll slice it up for you and have you give it a shot real fast. Tell us what you think. So your first offset cook, Kyle, what do you think?
It looks good.
It looks good? I'm going to turn this over just to get a good cut on the rib. All right, let's see what you think. We're going to cut you a nice big slice here. It's going to be hot. All right, Kyle. Nice big smoke ring. We're juicy. All right, Kyle, come around. All right, take a bite. What do you think?
It's really good.
Is it tender? Nice and juicy? What do you think about your first cook on the offset smoker?
I think it's a really nice smoker.
You want to do more of it? All right. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, and also tell me what you want Kyle to cook more in the future. I have an idea for a pork butt I want him to try in a couple weeks. He would tell you, but he can't stop eating the ribs that he just made. So please, just tell me what you like him to make, and we'll get that on in the future for you. Today I have an experiment. What happens if you put these hot mustard Doritos on a pork butt? We're going to start off by taking about half of the bag of Doritos and blending them up. And also, I'm going to put in Honey Hog Barbecue by Meat Church. I'd say that's around 4 tablespoons that I just put in. Then we're going to blend this until it turns into a powder. Now that we have our Doritos ready, we just need to get our pork butt going. This is just a standard 8-pound bone-in pork butt. Just kind of dry it off real fast. We're not going to do any trimming. I am going to use a binder today of some Frank's Red Hot. Start putting our Doritos mixture on. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for about 30 minutes. I'm going to go outside and get my fire started. Made a rookie move today. Went to go start my fire. I'm all out of propane, so I'm going to have to do it a different way. Luckily, I keep some fire starters on hand. And Lucy wants to make sure they're good to go. All right, charcoal's nice and hot. All right, we got our pit rocking right around 250, 275. I'm just going to throw the pork butt on. Not going to touch it for about 2 hours. Just going to keep the temperatures even on the smoker. Okay, we're about 2 hours in. Just over 100 degrees internal. I'm going to start spraying the sides, not the fat cap. We don't want to reduce the temperature of the fat cap. We want to let it continue to render, so we're just going to hit the sides. This is a 50-50 mix, apple cider vinegar and water. We'll continue to spritz about once every 30 minutes. Okay, we've been maintaining our 250 to 275 degrees Fahrenheit. We now have the fat completely rendered. This goes right through it to the touch. So it's time to wrap. Simple sheet of aluminum foil. Place our thermometer back in. Okay. Continue cooking until we reach about 200 degrees inside, and then after that we'll just continue to probe for tenderness. We reached an internal temperature of about 204 degrees, and it's been probing pretty tender for a good while, so let's go ahead and take it off. Did add an extra tray underneath just to catch some of the juices that we're starting to fall out. We will let this rest and we'll pull it here shortly. Okay, we've cooled down quite a bit. It's about 160 inside. Unwrap, see what we have. Meat gives no resistance whatsoever. There again, you can see the bone. No meat stuck to it, just fell right off. Should let that cool down a little bit more. It is still extremely hot. Okay, let's give it a little taste here see if we need to add more seasoning or anything. I have an idea. Let's take the remainder of didn't use. Let's add some more honey hog to this. There we go. Just needed some more, a little bit more flavor and some of that salt from the seasoning. There we go. I think that was a success. If you give this a try, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy these types of videos, give me a like and subscribe. Today, we are going to make pizzas in the Workhorse 1975 smoker. One pizza in the smoke chamber and one pizza in the firebox. Which one will be better? We are going to start off with 500 grams of flour and 15 grams of salt. 350 grams of 95-degree water. We're going to add 5 grams of sugar and 1 packet or 10 grams of active yeast. Mix to combine. While the yeast is doing its thing, pulse the dry ingredients together. We are going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and mix for 15 minutes. I had an issue with the dough setting on my processor, so I had to swap to a mixer halfway through. After mixing for 15 minutes, let rest for 15 additional minutes, and then mix again for 5 minutes after the 15-minute rest. Now we need to grease a large bowl with food lube and place the dough inside, then cover with a towel or plastic wrap. Let this sit on the counter for 2 to 2.5 hours. While the dough is resting, we can start making our pizza sauce. Start by crushing or dicing up 5 large garlic cloves or 7 small cloves. Heat some olive oil in a saucepan and brown the garlic. Once the garlic is browned, we're going to add 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Some Italian seasoning. Some Meat Church Holy Cow seasoning. Some white sugar. And some salt. Mix to combine. Once mixed, don't forget to taste test your sauce. Here I decided I needed more Italian seasoning, so just add that, mix again, and give it another taste. And we can let this cool in the refrigerator overnight. After the 2.5-hour rest period, we're going to divide our dough into 2. Just dump it out onto a floured cutting board. Split it in half. Place each half of the dough in its own bowl, coated with food lube. Cover and store in the refrigerator up to 24 hours. Remember to pull the dough out about 1 hour before cooking to let it warm up. When ready, stretch your dough onto a floured cutting board or a pizza peel and stretch the dough out. Spread out some of our cooled pizza sauce. Add your toppings. Here I am using some Doritos hot mustard pulled pork I made in a previous video. Here I'm using Colby pepper jack cheese. They were out of block and shredded, so I'm just using slices. When ready, put your pizza on a preheated pizza stone in your smoker running at about 500 degrees. Here I'm using the baffle plate to force the heat directly down on top of the pizza. Check and rotate the pizza often. It'll cook pretty fast from here. All right, the pulled pork pizza is done. We're going to pull this one off and we're going to get the kids' pizza ready. It's just a simple cheese pizza. For the second pizza, we just move the stone over to the firebox. And same thing, we're just going to constantly keep an eye on the pizza, make sure it doesn't burn, and rotate as necessary. Once finished, pull it off and we'll get these cut up. I did end up losing some footage about my thoughts on the pizzas. I can say that the pulled pork pizza on the left that was cooked in the smoke chamber is better in every way, and it cooked in about half the time. If you try this, have any other thoughts or suggestions, please let me know by posting them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, help me out by hitting that thumbs up and subscribe button. Today I wanted to see the best way to treat the membrane on pork ribs. So on the first step, we're going to do it the way I normally do it. We're going to remove the membrane. Grab it with a paper towel. Hopefully, one piece. Very end didn't come off. Which might be fine. I might cut that thin bone away anyway. Worked out perfect. Alright, next. We're not going to remove the membrane, we're just going to score the membrane. Again, I'm going to trim off some of this thinner down at the end. Okay, and the membrane. And then the third set. I'm not going to touch the membrane. Again, I have this thin meat. Get rid of it. Okay, then we're going to treat these 3 sets of ribs the same way. Pepper. And then salt. And add some honey hog seasoning from Meat Church. When these go on, we have untouched membrane, scored membrane, removed membrane. Kind of let these go between 225 and 250. All right, here for even cooking, we're going to move everything 1 spot to the left. So now we have our unmodified, our peeled, and our scored. All right, continue these around 225 to 250. So at the 2-hour mark, we're just going to rotate again. Scored. They're completely removed. I'm gonna put the untouched in the middle. While we're in here, I'm gonna give this a quick spray. Apple cider vinegar and water, 50-50 now. Time to get these wrapped. Just got the pads of butter down. Heat side down, these are the scored. More butter. These should be the untouched. They are. A bit of liquid. And then we have our removed membrane. Yeah. All right, let these go. Okay, so time to try these out. All right, looks like we're gonna start with where the membrane was removed. Smoke ring all the way around. Very good all around rib. So we're going to go to the, should be the scored. Okay. See, this is the scored one. Cut on the wrong side of the bone. A little bit less of a smoke ring on the bottom, just as big on the top though. Membrane definitely did not make a taste difference or a texture difference. Decent smoke ring on top, not much on the bottom. So for the amount of work that went into it, there's a slight texture difference on the don't remove the membrane. put on the scored. Yeah, for the no work being done, I definitely recommend scoring your membrane. Don't worry about removing it. And it's just as easy to score it as it is to leave it on. Alright, hope you enjoyed my experiment. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you like this video, like and subscribe.